Since the coming into office of Honorable Favores, he had these periodic visits to the countryside so that would give her a first-hand information on what is going on, reports in different forms and manners that reaches her. She wants to go out there, have discussions with so that can help her in informed decision-making of policies regarding the sector. This time around the 8th in KMC and the West Coast, and we visited some poultry farms, some dairy farms, some feed production farms, and a lot of issues came out during that tour, such as high cost for feed, poor quality feed, marketing issues, and things like that. But two things came out very, 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 very plain, and the minister was resolute to make sure that we see how to put that, how to have a quick fix for those two things. And the two things were the availability of groundnut cake for the sector and the bran from the flour mill. These things were two items that she wanted us to really have a quick fix for. And there are programs in the Ministry of Agriculture that are set to address all the difficulties that came up. But these are two things that she wants a quick fix for. Having said that, that's the reason we are here today. And we have an item agenda where the entities that were visited would come out and showcase their problems. And like the moderator said, we amicably see how we can, design ways and means to see how we can solve this. Without further ado, I'll stop there, and like I said, during the discussions, all these things would come out, and we will discuss as stakeholders in the same sector to see how we sort it out. But I would want to reiterate that the issue of groundnut cake and the issue of the bran at the flour mill is very dear to the minister's heart, and she would want us to see how we put a quick fix to the difficulties that are faced by the private sector in trying to access these things in quantity. So having said that, once again, thank you very much, and I declare this meeting open. Thank you very much.
We would straight away go to the next agenda item, which is remarks from the visited entities. As the DPS indicated, some of the issues that they highlighted were those he mentioned: the availability and the affordability of groundnut cake and flour. These are key ingredients for the production of livestock feed, and they constitute the highest part, for this species, poultry and small ruminants mainly, and therefore their affordability and availability is very important. And you would all agree with me that this would affect, in one way or the other, the production levels, the production capacities of poultry farmers as well as small ruminant farmers.
So as I said, we would just like to highlight, first of all, the challenges that this young industry, which is dairy, is facing in this country. But as well as that, we would like to add some of the conducive, possibly environment we think and support that the dairy industry needs to move on. As you know, Mr. Chairman, Gambia is blessed with a very large cattle population. It's blessed with a huge volume of milk, fresh milk. And these are all statistics from the FAO. Their last recent survey, cattle population, it is now 430,000 heads in the country. That's the last what I saw. It has gone down, I don't know. 300,000. Okay, all right. And then on terms of milk production, as I say again, the last survey I saw, I think that they did in 2011, was something like 14 million liters annually in this country is produced, fresh milk, of which 35% is used. The rest mostly goes to waste. Why? Because there is no value chain. There is no dairy value chain that can connect the small, but most of milk is produced by small-scale farmers. So small dairy producers link them to markets and processing facilities. Okay, we have seen that all the governments, First Republic, Second Republic, and the present one, they have all recognized the need to do something about the huge volumes of milk which are not serving us properly, and have established processing facilities. Private sector was always kept at a distance. The government thought they could do it alone. I am very glad and proud of you, Mr. Director, and your ministry, that at least at last, you have recognized the need to work with the private sector. Government should not be in business. Business is private sector. Government should only focus on policies to make things work. But in order to run this country, to make sure the economy works, the private sector must be involved. I am glad we are beginning to. I have never attended a private sector meeting of government since 12 years by sort of my dairy project. This is the first time I've been invited and visited by a minister. As I said, since my factory was inaugurated 12 years ago, Honorable Farmer is the first minister who ever visited my factory. And this is a modern processing factory capable of processing 10,000 liters of milk a day, package and marketing, and no government has now been there till now. So it's a step in the right direction. You congratulate. Let's look at the problems. What are the real issues that we have? The rest you can read there, but just to summarize. Despite the huge, or let's say the volume of milk that is produced in this country, huge volumes, we know that, provides a lot of capacity and opportunities to create wealth, create employment for this youth. Because if you look at the problems now, our biggest problem is importation. This country from the EU, and these are a few statistics again, we are importing 19 million liters of packaged milk and powder into this country. Yet we are producing locally all over the country quality milk of 14 million liters goes to waste. But they bring us this rubbish milk powder and packaged milk of no quality at a cost over 8 million euros per year by the government. That's the first problem we have, importation. Senegal, 3 major companies in Senegal, the biggest, Dolima, Yeliter, Ardo. Wow. On a daily basis, they package their soy and yogurt in Dakar. They leave at 12 at night. First ferry there at the ferries. Senegalese drivers, Senegalese trucks. No employment to Gambians. I personally went to GRA to investigate. They are not registered in GRA, so they don't pay tax. They don't pay tax, they don't employ Gambians, and they stifle us from the market. While Senegal does not allow one ton of dairy product to cross its border. We have tried several times. We are stuck at the border. I want to correct a fallacy. I think my friend mentioned it when he came to marketing. It is not true that we are not allowed to restrict. No. Because the norms of international trade based on WTO is based on what? Two things. Fairness, mostly fairness, and reciprocity. Those are the two issues. WTO has recognized and has told developing countries, you have the right to protect your industries, especially the emerging industries. You have the right to implement measures to stop dumping You have the right to implement measures to stop what is going on now between us and Senegal.
In poultry sector, we have about poultry production and then also animal feed production. Just to highlight about three key areas. Marketing is our issue, but like the Deputy Permanent Secretary highlighted about 2 main important point, which is going to be grano cake and then the wheat bran. In our poultry production feed, grano cake is only source of animal protein we have in this country, which is going to be used for poultry supplementary, including with the corn and then with the concentrate. But grano cake have a very important role to play, and then the wheat bran. But example, last year we was buying the grano cake, a ton is about 11,500, and then this year all of a sudden is about almost 17,000, which is over 41% increment. So which have a big impact to our production cycle, because again, if we have this high cost of other raw materials we are buying from abroad, we can easily manage with that. But this thing is something we are producing locally from our country. I think the high increment of the price is something we can we can see what best the ministry and the department can intervene, which also including the wheat bran. So which also we use a wheat bran in our animal feed production, which also is very expensive. And then for the grano cake, sometimes you have an issue not only about the price but always availability. We also have foreign competitors, which is like Senegal, which they have almost more than 3 companies bigger than even our Saro. But almost every year they will jump and then buy in bulk, and then end of the day, maybe after 1 month, 2 months, and then the grano cake is finished. You have to wait for another next year, starting by sometime March. So this is something we discussed at the visit of the Minister of Honorable Minister, and then this key areas, 2 areas are something very important. So we highlight our challenge. We definitely want government support and their intervention as soon as possible, because we are going at time is not our side. Because soon I realized the grano cake is going to be finished, and if we don't take a decision now, I even thought maybe the minister will declare something today. We already meet with Saro, we confirm it, we're going to subsidize this thing, because there is not time. So another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he's going to be out of the country. So you have to wait for next year again. So I really expected to hear something from the minister's side, the Ministry of Agriculture, to declare something today that at least they will subsidize the grano cake, and also for the wheat bran for the farmers. Not only you have small remnant farmers, you have poultry farmers. So this is sector product that all of us need.
The minister did visit some of our farms, and it was a welcome visit, because as far as I know, I've never had a Minister of Agriculture visiting small ruminant. So for me, I could be wrong, but it's the first time it happened in this country. And I think that I will commend the Director General for that and his team for the hard work they've been working with us to recognize us and for us to establish ourselves as commercial farmers rather than subsistence farmers. And some of the issues we raised with the minister was wheat bran, grano cake, and fattening of rams. I will start with fattening of rams. Tobaski is almost 2 months away. From my experience and my statistics, it takes like to fatten a ram costs like $1,000 a month, based on last year's statistics and cost. And this year, I'm sure it's going to be more. Like the gentleman just said, as I said, the CFA is $463. If that is the case, last year, a ram that cost like $9,240, it will cost us today $10,186. It does not mean where we are buying the rams in Senegal, Mali, or Mauritania, the price has gone up just because of foreign exchange. And that will impact on our Tobaski rams. If I buy a ram today to fatten for 2 months, that is plus $2,000. It will cost us $12,186 to fatten the same ram that cost us last year $9,240. This is statistics. It's not a guesswork. I'm into sheep fattening, with fattening and breeding like most of my colleagues. And we want to change this concept. We want to change the way things are done in this country, because every year we take millions and millions of dollars out of this country to empower our neighbors. And we say we should be creating our own jobs, and the only way we can do this is by supporting us to widen and expand our farms. In this support, we cannot go without the wheat bran and the groundnut cake, because we are into intensive sheep breeding, and everything that is given to the sheep is being organized by us. We don't allow the sheep to go out to graze, and then because when the sheep go out to graze, they pick the plants and the leaves they want to eat that they need to have their nutrients. So because it's intensive breeding, we supply everything to them. And wheat bran and groundnut cake is a key issue. Wheat bran, like everybody have said, at the beginning of the year, it was like $450 for the 50 kilos. Now it stands at $600 for the wholesale of 50 kilos. Just increment of $150. So if someone is using like 2 bags a day of wheat bran, that means every day in his farm he's spending extra $300. You know, if you multiply that by 260 days a year, it's a lot of money, and that will reflect on the ram as well. The groundnut cake was costing $11.50 budus. Like I said to the minister, it's true last year they gave more money to the farmer, but they did not increase the groundnut by 40-something%. So why should they increase the groundnut cake to the farmers by 40-something%? So 50, okay. So I will appeal. The wheat bran, we all know they are private businesses. We cannot condition them how to sell their wheat bran. Like they once said to me, if the demand is high, the prices goes high. I cannot fault them for that, it's their company. But the government can subsidize the wheat bran and groundnut cake like they subsidize the fertilizer for the farmers.
On the marketing, what we are suggesting is we look at marketing in terms of policies. What policies can we develop to support the local stick industry to sell? Because if we cannot sell, there will be issues. Like with NAVEC, you know, these agricultural rates for electricity and other issues. And then access to land also for Sahel, this is an issue. We have been going around looking for land, because temporarily we are using this place as part of a PPP agreement with the Ministry of Agriculture that we can use this place for 10 years. We shouldn't wait until maybe 2-3 years and we start looking for land. We have in earnest started going around, but it's an issue with us to have access to land, and we want the ministry to help us in that area. Then the other thing is this access to inputs. That one has been mentioned, the groundnut cake and the availability. These are also areas that we think we need support from government to help us to be able to have easy access to some of these inputs. And then maybe lastly, what I want to say in the area of hatchery, yes, it's a challenge, because nationally there is no parent stock that can provide us with some of these hatching eggs, but we have plans now that will bring our stock very soon, and we will be able to produce enough hatching eggs for Sahel and any other hatchery.
All we are doing is a question of energy. The rates that we have been charged for electricity from the national producers are prohibitive, and that has a serious impact on the cost, our cost of production, and it has the price that we are charging. We don't want to charge that price, because ultimately we are the ones who are going to eat the chicken. I don't eat imported chicken, or I try not to. But then local chicken being sold at $2.50, I think it's still fair. So what I've been doing recently for us, because I know it impacts all of us, was I wrote a letter to the minister to help us get waiver so that we can use our generators instead of using NAVEC. Unless they also can intervene with NAVEC and help us to get us a preferential rate. Because this is agriculture. This is about security, being dependent on yourself. Many people condemn and then say, all right, Empire's product has changed. It has not changed. We are importing from Pluruton still. We have documentary proof. Anybody who wants to see it can see it. We don't need to, because in this type of business you cannot cheat. Cheating doesn't pay. It's like hitting a drum with an axe. You hit it once, you don't have a sound, you never have a drum. So we've been trying very hard, and it's not our responsibility as a company. I just want to make it clear. We are not the government. We are not supposed to make sure that this is available here. What we are doing is we are using our resources to try to ease a particular situation, but it's not our responsibility to make sure chicken is in this country. I want us to make that thing clear. And all of those people are shouting and saying, all right, Empire's the chicken has increased by $5, fine. Feed has increased by $12, fine. But they don't tell you that the finished product has increased quite significantly. I don't want to name the figure, but I know it's so important for them. I mean, it's a lot of money, and they are not looking at that. And if we insist that, all right, let us kill our big businesses, because you need pillars in all of these businesses, and Empire is one of those pillars. But if you leave us behind and say, oh, Senegal is cheaper than Empire, fine. You go and buy Senegal. Why don't we invested $250 million. If you just go and buy finished chicken or finished eggs and just sell them in the market, how much money will you be making? Let us look, like Hassan was saying, at this nationalistically. We are not looking at only eating the chicken. We are looking at the jobs that we are creating for our youths. The poultry industry alone can create more than 50,000 jobs. If anybody wants, and if agriculture is interested, we can sit down and I demonstrate to you that this is a possibility. Those 50,000 jobs, I told the minister, what are we going to do about it? We should have an ambition. You have the knowledge in your department, but we need the passion. If we have the passion on top of that knowledge, you will give us the resources that we want. We want to help our people. And people who come and help us and say, all right, we want to help you as a country, but we'll give you 300 chicken. We'll give you 100 chicken for the kids. Is that going to change the lives of the kids? And if you go into those countries, they have companies that are employing 20, 30, 50,000, 100,000, 300,000 jobs created by companies. And we are not being encouraged to do that. Let us not fool ourselves. We are doing subsistence farming. We are not doing any commercial farming. You help big companies to grow. And small ones who want to grow, we also help them to grow.
My name is Fatim Lee. I'm the marketing manager of Gambia Granule Corporation. I've had various speakers with their concerns and, asking for a way forward on the feed that they've mentioned. That is the groundnut cake. But as the last speaker stated, when you come and you have a concern, and that concern you're giving paracetamol every time, and the root causes are not addressed, that leads to this. I will start by saying, as a corporation, 2019-2020, the corporation bought 2,226 tons of groundnut. And we had farmers. We have farmers who grow this groundnut, and it was harvested, it was sold, but they didn't sell it to GGC because the farm gate price was 18,500. At that time, it was fixed. There is no price that was added. That is the subsidized price. That is the 18,000, and the corporation was buying it at 19,500 from the CPMS or the SECO, we call them. This year, if everyone was following the sequence of the trade season, all of us realized that the price has been changed 3 times. We first did a press release, 20,700, and farmers were complaining that the price is small. We went to various radio and TV stations, sensitizing farmers that the importance of these farmers selling their groundnuts to the corporation. we went on telling them we have a partnership that there is no credit buying this year. We have our own Gambian farmers who are farming this groundnut, but they are not willing to sell their groundnuts in the Gambia because they want the Senegalese price. They are also, Senegal is also protecting their market because they want this groundnut from the Gambia. And we have these Chinese who are also coming into our market, and no one is controlling anything. I also speak on the price of the groundnut cake, which is a concern to everyone. Yes, the price was 11,500, but now it's 17,000. The reason is the last price that we gave out on the price of groundnut, that is the 26,000, we were buying it as a corporation, the groundnut from the farmers. We bought it at 27,500, which was not subsidized. It was at the cost of GGC. We were doing that whole addition to see that the groundnut stays in this country, but that's not the case. It's a cost on GGC. So now, what we've done as a corporation to see where at least GGC can make and break even. A break even in the sense that what we budgeted for, the projection that we have, was 40,000 tons. But we ended up buying less than 8,000 tons. That is 7,000 plus, which is also affecting this feed that you're talking about. Yes, we have Senegalese that come to buy this groundnut cake, but not this year. This year, what happened is our own people, Gambians themselves, who come and buy these tons and sell it or give it to Senegalese. These Senegalese will take it back. I have my own records. I have a pro forma invoice with me. When you come, when you say you want groundnut cake, if you are buying 1 kilo to 200 kilos, you go to finance, you pay. But when it's above that, you go to the bank and pay. But you will see a Gambian who will walk in, you know, and come and tell you, I want this number of ton. You do a pro forma invoice, you give the person will go and sell it or give it to somebody else. That we cannot control. We are aware of it, but we cannot do anything in it. We also have another problem. Yes, the Senegalese used to come to Saro direct to purchase this groundnut cake, but again, not this year. I have several people that approached me and said, yo, in vernacular, ñun don't liggéey ak Saro. And it used to be here until the rain season comes. But I told them, no. Now we have, you know, factory, that is the feed mill. Mohamed Sanyang, I know of Mohamed Sanyang, and I know Unique Global because I met them. They came to my office. They show interest. And Sahel, they came to my office. We discussed at length. They are concerned about the price. I am also concerned about the price. But as a corporation, we are, you know, expected to make profit also.